This is Jingle12 coming from the future after I finish recording this video. I wanted to let you guys know real fast that this really isn't a just direct step-by-step form to beating hell. It's more of a talking what you could do, what you should probably do, and just kind of a general outline. If you try to follow these guidelines, you should do fine, but again, it's not a very strict and very specific do this, do that, because again, your formula is your way that you play it is going to be different compared to mine because you're gonna have a different situation. Guys, we're gonna be talking about how to beat hell in today's video. There's some strategy to it, and we really got to talk about that specifically. There are really two ways that you're gonna have to play. Most people will play on the side, and there will be one person playing in the middle, and we got to talk about how you play on those different positions, and we'll be talking about all of it right here. Guys, before we go any further though, I want to politely ask that you would please consider subscribing to the channel, as it helps me and it helps Cube Defense grow. So guys, if you would please consider subscribing. That is your choice, not mine. All right, now that we've done that call to action stuff, let's get to the important part. I've got a lot here to show you, and the biggest thing actually is the towers that we'll be using here. So these are the towers that we need to be looking at here, because we've got a lot of them, and I'm gonna go through the ones that I think you guys need to have, the ones that you can and probably should have if possible, but aren't absolutely necessary, and then a third set that's like very useful if you have it, but not absolutely necessary. This first set, which is the most absolutely necessary, if a person in the team does not have this tower, and if you don't have this tower, then somebody else is going to have to make up for you, because you can't run without this tower, the towers that I list here. So we're going to start with probably the most important one, which you guys are already seeing, is Temple here. Temple's very important here. If you do not have it, you're going to have somebody make up for you, because Temple is incredibly important on each and every side. No matter where you are, you're going to need a Temple. The next tower that we're going to be talking about, the Oil Rig. Oil Rig is incredibly important too. It helps you make money. If you do not have this tower, you're going to have assistance from other players to get you money. So make sure you have Oil Rig, or you have somebody giving you money, because it's going to be very hard for you to play if you're not getting that income from this tower. The next tower here is Rail Minigun. Rail Minigun is very important for the very beginning to help you defend against some of the starting cubes, the fiery bats or whatever they're called, and also it allows you to help give your temple sacrifice. They're very good sacrifice. The next tower is Stealth Bomber. This is also very, very, very important for the exact same reasons, early defense and damage, especially against hidden cubes like the Ghost. The next one, which is incredibly important, is OC. This one, if you don't have, that's kind of okay, as long as your team has like at least 9 of them, or like 12 of them. You don't have, if 1 or 2 people don't have it, I think you'll be fine. Maybe, no guarantees on that, but try to have as many as possible. And most people have this tower anyways. If you get to level 30, you should own this tower, so I'd expect you to own this, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The next tower is Lord Zorvuzo. This tower is incredibly important to help you defeat high HP cubes that may be threatening to reach the end of the line. This tower is really, really important in those situations, and it's very useful to have. I would highly suggest you own this tower and use it in game. If you don't, you may be in trouble. So that was the last tower that I say is pretty much absolutely necessary. The second set has to do with the towers that are incredibly important. However, if you don't go without them, you could make it okay. You may be able to survive without them, but it's going to be much harder. The first one is going to be Campfire. Campfire is very important for you to cheapen the prices of upgrading things, and it also helps with range on towers. Second, a very important one is Tomb. I could almost throw this one in at the exact same level as Lord is in terms of importance. It's very, very helpful. You can actually place this one below, you guys will see later, below the platforms, and use it against cubes up on the platform. So very, very important there. Next one is Golden Glue. Golden Glue is very important in terms of slowing down cubes, especially like the turbo gumdrops. It is very, very important. This can be substituted if you have it with Dad Ice, or I guess you could use glue, a normal glue. However, normal glue will be a whole heck of a lot less effective than Golden Glue will be. So I would definitely suggest having Golden Glue on you if possible. But again, these are two very much more rare towers, so if you don't own them, you probably either want to have somebody in game with you that has it, or bring a normal glue. That would be my suggestion. The next one is Blaze Fire, the tower you're probably trying to get If somebody in your game has this tower, they probably already know what they're doing. So make sure you give them your utmost attention if they do own this tower, and help them out whenever they need it. Also, this tower is going to be incredibly helpful in taking out spam cubes. There's a lot of spam in some waves, so make sure you have this tower in your inventory if possible. Orbital Satellite is another very good tower for spam. Right now it's been buffed and it's very useful for spamming. If you have it, I would suggest placing it no matter what. We've got MK2 Temple. This is actually an old image, but it's same thing. It's the MK2 Temple. I would highly suggest having that to cheapen the temple's price. Not so much their range. Their range isn't that much of a big deal. It's more of just the price saving that thing does. So definitely suggest having that. At this point, we're moving on into the nice to have, but not absolutely necessary section. If you don't have this, you can survive and it won't hurt you as much as those previous ones will. It will still make things much more difficult. It just won't be as incredibly hard. This one is Defabricator, mostly because you got to defab that center item, the center sword in the very middle of the map. That gives the center area a lot more space. So it's very nice to have this tower with you. If you don't have it, that's okay, but I would expect if you're at this point, you'd have this tower. So at least one person bring it. Only need one person to bring it. For the next one, we have Star of Zorbuzo. This is helpful in giving your temple damage, or your temple hit points, and it's also pretty powerful in dealing with cubes. If you don't have a temple, this is a good substitute while one of your teammates gets their own temple and then goes in and tries to get yours. So in case you don't have temple, I would highly suggest bringing this tower with you, as you can help out both your teammate get their temple up and also help yourself keep your side alive. Frost Rail, honestly, if you're watching this video and you do have Frost Rail, I would be surprised you haven't beaten it yet. Winter Trials was incredibly hard compared to this, and so I could almost say this is completely unrelated. But if for some reason you have Frost Rail and you're struggling to beat this, bring Frost Rail. It's going to be helpful, especially with maxing out your temple and slowing down cubes. But again, I don't expect most of you to even own this tower, so that's just kind of a thrown in there. I think that's all of them. Okay, so that's the last one right there. So now that we've gone over that, let's get into the actual strategy here. I'm going to start with the strategy for one of the 4 people that runs and defends on one of the sides. This is my gameplay here of me defending on the side. I've got the audio muted, but we can see, maybe, if we load in, I'm immediately going over here to this side of the map. As you can see, we've got people over here defending, but I'm up here, and hopefully you could see that over there. I immediately placed minigun right in the center. See, I placed it right in the center, and then I upgraded it to level 2. That's just so I can deal with the early defense. That should last you a little while. At this point, I just placed oil rigs. I kind of messed that up, but yes, at this point, I focused oil rigs. I kept focusing oil rigs, just kept upgrading them as fast as I could, and pretty much just placed all of them at first, and then I upgraded each one to level 4 and then moved on to the next one. So I'd upgrade one to level 4, and then I moved to the next one, upgrade it to level 4, move to the next one. So that would be what I would do if I were on the side to start. That's probably some of your early defense. Now there's going to come a point when you're going to want to bring out your stealth bomber. Let's see if we can find when I do that. Maybe. Okay, I'm still working on my oil down there. I think we're about at that point where I'm supposed to play. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, go ahead and play stealth bomber down. I believe I attempt to get this thing up to level 3. I would almost suggest level 4, but you could probably live off of level 3. As you can see there, I am watching center. It's always good to be watching your center if you're on the side. Center is going to be the hardest to defend, and so if center asks for help, you need to go and help them because they're going to need it. It's very hard. It's much harder to defend center compared to the sides, as center has 4 paths instead of only 1. So that's why it's a lot harder to defend there. If we move on ahead here, I think we continue. As you can see, I'm now maxing them out, getting them completely maxed. I just get a spider there, but that stealth bomber is taking care of it. I've got them all completely maxed. Once I do that, you're going to see my next move is actually not going to be placing... Well, okay, I did actually place my temple here, but this is not what I was supposed to focus on. The next thing I would do at this point, guys, if I were you, would be to head down. I don't know when I do it. I should go... Yeah, here we are. I'm down at center now. I'm kind of helping out center, waiting on him. You do not work on your temple at this point. I mean, you can place it, but don't worry about really upgrading it at this point. You've got to wait. You're going to wait for center to get MK2 temple. Hopefully, if you've got it, maxed out. If you don't have it, then you're kind of okay, a little more open to do things. Actually, I should be at this point going down and placing OC. I don't know why I'm not. Hopefully, yeah, here we go. So see, now I'm going down to place OC. Place it on a corner like I'm doing here. Get all 3 of them down. Give yourself a campfire if possible. Max it out. And then go ahead and upgrade those things and get them maxed. You should have a ton of money at this point if you got all your oil rigs maxed. Go ahead and get those things upgraded as fast as possible. Make sure you're watching your side too, as I just did, because you never know what's going to come down that line. You don't want to get yourself unprepared and ending up letting down your team and losing the game. Make sure you watch your side at all times. Again, I'm continuing to upgrade these things as fast as possible. They're going to be very crucial in dealing with high HP cubes. As you'll see, these things can actually target around the whole entire map. So whenever you see a cube that's high HP on a side that really doesn't have a great temple, it's going to be key in killing that high HP cube. For example, boss cubes, it's very useful for that. You'll see if you play. So I've got those down now. I've got my stealth bomber. My temple's at level 3, I think, at this point, but it really wasn't a big a deal. I'm watching for my teammates. I think he over here actually was having a bit of an issue over there to my right, but I think he's okay now. As you can see, I get that temple level 4, and then I think I made a grave mistake here. I think I did something stupid. Yeah, I accidentally upgraded my temple before I gave it sacrifice. Don't do that. Do not do that. Give your temple sacrifice, guys. That's incredibly important. I just wasted a ton of money doing that. So don't do what I just did. I still managed to max it out. I've got a ton of income, so that's really helpful. So I was able to get this thing upgraded pretty fast. I used, as you can see, I used the golden stuff and all that to help myself. All those towers were there to help me get my temple maxed out. As you can see, I just had a boss spawn on my side with a level 3 temple, or no, level 4 temple. So I'm already in trouble here. As you can see, everybody's over here. And this is where the orbital cannons come in key. That and the frost rail, see the frost rail? That frost rail helped out a ton as well. So both of those things helped out a whole heck of a lot and were incredibly important to defending here. As you can see, I just got that temple maxed out. I placed golden glue, but I let the frost rail do it. But you can, if you didn't have frost rail, I'd place golden glue. Honestly, if I didn't get that temple maxed out, I probably would have died here. That was pretty bad what that looked like. Yeah, as an emergency, this is what I did. I placed a tomb down there to help out. That's why tombs are pretty helpful, as they can deal with these high HP cubes. The game continued. I've got a stalker. Okay, so the stalker came pretty early on this game, if I remember correctly. I think we managed to kill it, but I think at this point we were doing pretty good at this point. As you can see in center, we've got Blaze. My side's pretty good. I'm trying to cover for this guy. He doesn't have temple, so I go ahead and cover for him, get his temple up there, let him replace his towers over here. He's good. So we're just continuing here. At this point, really, we're just kind of got, as you could pause real fast. You guys kind of see, we've got all the dad ices around. We've got blaze fire. We're gonna get to that in a minute, but as you can see, we've got a moderate defense here. I'll note that they seem to not have placed a bunch of orbital cannons yet. That should have happened earlier. I'm kind of surprised we survived without them for so long. Let's continue here. I think at this point we were actually starting to get them up. It wasn't much longer before we were getting them up. So that MK2 temple is level 4, by the way. I think right now it's just, I've stopped focusing on my own side and I'm more focusing on my teammate side. Like for example, Von Drake, he forgot his oil rig, so I'm covering for him. I'm giving him money. See, there's a lot of collaboration here. You've got to be able to communicate with your teammates or else you're not going to be able to win. That's a big thing about this. We see here, we kind of just get a bunch of orbital stuff up here. I check myself, that frog's gonna die, so I leave it alone, not worry too much, just helping out center as best as I can. And I mean, honestly, it really from here was just kind of generally trying to cover for each side. I've pretty much taken care of my side. The only thing I need to do is just make sure I'm watching it to make sure that it doesn't get any sort of massive surprises that could kill it. So I'm just really just being careful to watch my side while helping out wherever I'm needed. Like as you can see, I just had that spawn and a turbo gumdrop spawn. Or no, he did actually, it wasn't me, it was him. So I'm trying to help him out. And yeah, he's good. He made it. So I'm just kind of watching everything, as you can see. So, I mean, it's very important to also be watching everything because you never know what's going to come and surprise you. At this point, I began placing tombs. So did my teammates, though you can't really see it here. They were also placing their tombs, maxing them out because we have the money. We're pretty rich. And so, as you can see, we are on wave 30. The queen spider spawns over here. Those orbital cannons do a ton of damage to that thing and eventually kill it. Like, I mean, the orbital cannons are key, as you guys can kind of see. They are doing a ton of damage. Like, that's why the orbital cannons are so important, is they're just demolishing cubes like that. I don't even know if I can call that a cube, honestly. We're getting pretty close to the end here now. But I think at this point, I can really kind of drop this. I mean, at this point, the way that defending works is kind of the same. So I'm going to pull up another video here. I had to really talk with the people here. I was not in VC, so I talked to them a ton in this one. But as you can see, I'm getting my defenses up and attempting to defend against this spam here. This one we did not have defab, so we could not defab the center. However, if you do have defab, I would suggest immediately begin to defab the center sword. I believe at this point I'm trying to get a second rail minigun, and I'm gonna try to get that thing to level 3. That should be my goal, is to get it to level 3. Usually 2 of them can last you a good while. And then after a little while, after you've gotten a good amount of them, what you can do is get yourself an oil rig. Let me see if I can get to the point where it's where we reach that point. At one point, we're gonna want to place a stealth bomber, and I'm trying to remember where I did it. I continue to work on my oil rigs. As you can see, it's slower here. It's a lot slower for me to try to get those things upgraded compared to my teammates. However, eventually I should be getting, yeah, right here. I'm about to get stealth bomber. Right here, go ahead and place it down. We've got that spider that spawns. The spider is a good call to place your stealth bomber. That's when things really start getting a little bit difficult. So you kind of want to place it around that time. At least that would be my suggestion. And just go ahead and get it to at least level 2. If you're center, I'd say not level 2, level 3. Level 4, honestly, if you're center. Because you're going to need a lot of damage, splash damage. You may even want 2 stealth bombers because there's a lot of stuff spawning in center. As you can see here, I managed to cover up for myself pretty well. I got 3 rail miniguns actually in the center. So I mean, it's up to you really how you feel you need to defend. As for me, I had to really kind of be careful with how I upgraded and what I placed when. I was very careful and very methodical with what I did when, but we managed to get to wave 30 on this game. We didn't actually beat it, which is why I'll be going back to that other video to conclude. I continued to get my oils upgraded as fast as I could, while also trying to keep us alive. My teammates at this point had gotten themselves pretty much settled on their side, so they began placing their not oil cannons, their orbital cannons on their sides. I'm just continuing to slowly build my defenses. There really isn't much else here to say. Eventually what happens is I get a golden glue gun in center just to help me out. I probably could use another tower. Honestly, I probably should have used dead ice in center instead of the golden glue, but golden glue works okay. As you can see, that ghost there, it's really important that we had stealth bomber there because the rail miniguns can't see that. At this point, I'm working on the campfire. Actually, I believe I was a bit slow on this game and really was behind in terms of my towers, which, I mean, for my first time, well, it wasn't really my first time, but this, honestly, for me, that was kind of impressive what I pulled off so far. I'm placing golden glue to help me out with sacrifice damage. I'm asking for a bit of help, I think, here. I need a bit of help. Also, I'll note I'm lagging in this gameplay severely for some strange reason. I'm basically just trying to get that temple with some damage and stuff here. And eventually I pull it off. I continue to add rail miniguns and stuff like that. This was really crucial that I had the orbital cannons here, because without those orbital cannons, that would not have happened. I would have died pretty quick. Eventually, I managed to get this temple maxed, I think. Yeah, I think I just did. Yeah, I did. I just maxed the temple, and then I tell my teammate to get their MK2 temple down. That's what you're supposed to do once I do that, if you've got it. They didn't know what I was talking about. It didn't happen for a good while before we eventually got our MK2 temple down. It kind of hurt us a little bit there, and I don't think it caused our death, but it was still a bad miscommunication on our side. But eventually they got it. I don't remember when. At this point, I placed OS. I'm OC. I don't know if that's the best move. I honestly, at this point, this is the kind of the point where I'm not exactly 100% sure. I'm a great YouTuber. I know exactly what's happening. We actually got really lucky here. I'm not gonna lie. This person did not have any defenses. They had no temple, no nothing here. So we were in trouble on this side over here. That side was okay, but over here, like on this side with this Leviathan, I'm honestly surprised we survived this because it was really about to hit us there hard. But we managed to kill it barely, just barely, with the Lord too. We got the Lord placed. So we ended that. The other one should died as well. We were getting kind of close to the end of this one, but I had my temple. I was freaking out at this point, actually, in the game, because I was like, we're about to die. I just couldn't tell. But eventually, I managed to max out my OS. At least that's what I did in this gameplay. I think that's probably the best move, is to get those, and then just kind of at this point, I would work on Blaze Fire if you have it. If you don't have it, that's okay, but it's gonna hurt you a little bit. But get your Blaze Fire set down at center. I don't think I actually did this at center. Did I ever place Blaze Fire? I don't think I ever placed Blaze Fire. Yeah, no, I don't see myself. Oh, there it is. I finally placed Blaze Fire. So yeah, I finally placed Blaze Fire and try to get that thing upgraded as fast as possible. That's gonna take me a bit of time, but that's okay. I mean, we finally get that temple down, that MK2, but like it's level 1, so not really respectable. Yeah, I'm gonna admit here, this wasn't our best game. We weren't in our best organization, but that's okay. I get my Blaze Fire placed, and I'm attempting to upgrade it. At this point, we're pretty close to the end here. I think my teammates were struggling getting their sides. They did not have temples, so I think that's why we died, is my teammates did not have temples. Yeah, 2 people did not have temples, which I believe was the cause of our death. If I'll check here to see. If something here caused our death, and I can't remember what it was. I don't think I actually knew what it was. Something died. We were starting to get backed up in the center. I don't think it was center though. I think something else happened. Yeah, we died somewhere. So we made it to wave 30 though, which was pretty respectful, but I think we were missing 2 temples. I think that's what caused our death in the end. So let's go back to the original video, the other one that I had a second ago. As you can see, we've got this one defense against this spider mother right there. We're on wave 30, entering wave 31. Wave 31's getting hefty here. I don't actually have a lot of defenses on this side, but I do have a golden glue gun, which is pretty crucial in my opinion. I also got myself some stealth bombers because I could place them. This is wave 30 again. It's really intense on wave 30. So you definitely need to have your temples placed down and maxed by now, and yeah, just pretty much have almost everything down. And just at this point, just be watching your side, because you've got a lot of stuff that's coming, and you need to make sure you're covering your end at this point. As you can see on this one, we actually had Hades spawn in the far area over there, and once I realized that one side over there, I don't know if you guys caught that here, I noticed that side over there was clear, that my teammate's side was clear. So since I placed a temple for him, his side was clear, so I went ahead and sold that temple, and I went ahead and placed it over here and began upgrading it. We already had Lord placed on the Hades over there too. If you see, Hades has gotten himself a Lord targeting him. I think my side's pretty much clear here. Well, not yet, but it's almost clear. And you'll see once it's clear, I'm going to sell this temple. Actually, I'm going to sell everything here because there's no point in keeping it here. I'm going to get all my stuff available for use. I left the golden glue, which I wouldn't have done if it was me. I would sell that, but I should eventually get over there, hopefully. Oh, okay, so I just maxed it out. I forgot about that. I was talking to them. They actually had given me the sacrifice I needed, so I went ahead and maxed it. I've got a ton of money here. We're pretty much clear on the center. I go ahead and sell my tombs, get them off into the center, go ahead and max them out as quick as possible, as you can see. But I mean, at this point, we've pretty much won. As you can see, Mr. Hades here Hades is pretty much done already. We've got 2 max temples. We're about to get a 3rd, or at least a close to max temple over here. We've pretty much got this one closed, and that's pretty much it. Again, if I was to make any sort of statements here as to the importance of this, it's one, make sure you cover your side and are always watching your side. Make sure you're always watching your side, making sure that you've got a good amount of defenses on your side and you don't have anything leaking through. The second thing, make sure you're communicating with everyone else, because you never know when you're going to have some sort of struggle and trouble in the game. Make sure you always are communicating with others so you make sure that they're okay and that they don't die. Oh, I have been disconnected. Well, phooey. And finally, third, make sure that you're helping out center whenever they need it. That's part of the communication part. Your center is going to need help. Make sure you've got them covered. If you can't go into voice chat to do this, I would highly suggest being able to talk in game. Again, very important that you communicate, guys. And finally, if you could get carried by somebody, get carried by somebody. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot easier to get carried by somebody that knows what they're doing compared to just you doing it with a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing. Hopefully this will help you beat hell yourself while we still got time left before the event ends. Thank you everyone so much for watching this video with me, Deagle12, talking about hell. So guys, thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you do like this video, but again, that's your choice, not mine. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.